And we are live, I think. Welcome to TKB Live. Today is December 23rd. We are here in Dublin as the other Kuribrohs are currently travelling across the UK to get back home. It has been quite a big week for Yu-Gi-Oh! We're just going to wait for a few more people to get into the chat, and then we'll start discussing Master Rule. In the meantime, we're going to be playing some Duel Links. I've not really been playing much Duel Links as of late. I just never can really get into mobile games in general. But yeah, so Master Rule 5 is after being revealed, or whatever variation you want to call it. But it's absolutely massive. As big of a change as the previous rule was, this will be a change in the opposite direction. Additionally, if you're interested in Cube, we did do 3 hours of Cube live yesterday and 3 hours of Cube live the day before. Half of that can be found on this channel and the other half can be found over on Twitch. So if you are looking for Cube, that is something that we were doing. And yeah, just let me know in the chat what you guys would like to talk about, because like I said, we unfortunately don't have access to the rest of TKB today, so it's going to be a slightly more relaxed stream than normal. If there's something you'd like to watch. Junk Speeder is bonkers. Honestly, I assume that we're going to see a couple of hits to just kind of general synchro stuff, because at the moment it's pretty good, not gonna lie. We were kind of joking about kind of Trishula becoming very powerful. I'm not convinced Trishula becomes the powerhouse of the format. Because I think we've come a long way since Trishula was last kind of a very common card. We now have Valor, we now have Impermanence, so there's plenty more ways to kind of thwart the synchro spam decks. The Junk Speeder is pretty crazy though. We'll attack with him. We don't need piercing. Interesting. That card's actually a lot better than it is in normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Being able to bounce stuff in battle phase and not being able to reset it is not bad. But it is not good enough. But yeah, so for everybody joining the chat, welcome to TKB Live, December Christmas edition. We just had the 2 days of Cube Mass, Saturday and Sunday of this weekend. So we did, I think, 7 or 8 hours of cubing over in Bristol with Tom and the rest of the Bristol gang. And that was a lot of fun. We actually have the cube list up. You can find it over on the Facebook now, so a lot of people had been asking for that. That's something we have up, and that's the sort of thing that we're going to be looking to do more. We actually tried out a few different approaches to... Oh, an error has occurred. Sad times. Yeah, we tried out a few different approaches to how we record matches, and I think the second day, the stuff that's up on YouTube was actually pretty good. I really hope that there is not new Infernoid support. Although, Infernoid's not too bad, I guess. But, the deck is kind of scary. Decatron is definitely one of those cards that kind of tilts me a little bit when I see it. Yeah. Needle Fiber into King Calamity is really silly. I don't know. I don't know if we should be expecting should we be expecting kind of preemptive hits for going into this list? Because that could be possible. Just a link one for Infernoid, so you can like get rid of the Decatron. That would be a little broken. If you guys can let me know, YouTube is telling me that the bitrate is a bit low. So if the stream is a little weird, just let me know and I'll mess about with that. Yeah, I mean, overall, like, the synchro just has to be super good. DDD is interesting as well. That's something that a lot of people seem to be hyping up. I like the deck a lot. Going into just before Zoo came out for like 2 weeks, DDD was good in the TCG. And I actually put a lot of time into the deck during that time. It was CCG had a list which was like using Beatrice and Formula Synchron and a bunch of weird stuff to kind of really push the deck, and you'd end on, I think it was like 3 or 4 negates, which is pretty cool. Like, it's just such a fun deck to play. The one thing that worries me with DDD is the fact that, there's just so much space to outplay yourself with DDD. If you don't know all of your lines and you take a wrong line, you can end up somewhere completely unintended. Yeah, it is definitely interesting that they decided to update the rules at the same time in the TCG and OCG. I would be very happy if we saw TCG brought into line with OCG, and this, like, if there is a time where you're going to unite the 2 card games a lot more, this would be the time. I think we've even, like, our tournament policies are starting to get closer to one another. Japan has YCSs now, so, it could be a sign that we're moving in the same direction. And overall, that could be quite healthy for the game. But just the additional possibilities of this Master Rule are very exciting. The fact that, there's so many decks that even with dedicated links suffered and struggled. So that's great to see them kind of powered up again. DDD is like massively, that deck had so much potential and did so much in OCG, and then we get it and it just can't keep up, which is crazy. Like, I'll definitely be messing about with the deck. We'll be trying to kind of focus on Master Rule 5 kind of theory and testing going forward, I think. Oh, my game has frozen. This isn't good. Yeah, so we'll be testing Master Rule 5 stuff, I think, just in terms of how homogenous the format has been the past while. Oh, this is the Assault guy. Am I afraid of Assault Mode Activate? I'm kind of afraid of Assault Mode Activate. But yeah, DDD, like some form of Burning Abyss variant we're probably going to see being tested out. The Synchro decks. Dimension Barrier becomes good again. Bahamut Shark is spiking. Like, it's a lot of crazy stuff is happening that I would not have expected to happen anytime soon. Flamboyant says that DDD sadly won't be competitively viable even under the Master Rule. Do you have any kind of reason to back up that claim? Because I can definitely believe that it might struggle, but like, it does still just generate a lot of cards. Blind Second Thunder in Master Rule 5 does seem really silly. Like, just Thunder in general is so strong in that sort of format. Like, being able to just summon Infinite Colossus is kind of nice. And also, if Trishula decks are good, then Thunder is presumably not bad into those. Do we kill him just with this attack? No, we do like 27 or something. We do a lot of damage, but it's not enough damage. But it is hilarious. Yeah, I could believe that DDD is very fragile. I still think it's a very like exciting deck to play. You know, it is just one of the most fun decks that I've played in terms of lines. But we definitely have come a very far way. And especially if something like Trident comes back on the list, and with things like Draco still existing. Right, this game is going real slow. But yeah, with how diverse the format is, it probably doesn't have much space. Yeah. Misplays is the big fear of DDD. That's the problem, is like, even if DDD is the best deck of the format, oops, okay. We're gonna stop the duel links because clearly that is not liking my system right now. Mermails is a pretty good deck. Okay, we're just gonna X out of Duel Links and play Legacy of the Duelist instead. Just wanted to play Sealed anyway. Yeah, Needle Fiber. I would be surprised if we were allowed to have Needle Fiber for very long. Like we saw with Summon Sorceress, she got kind of one big event, and then we were kind of told no more of that. Okay. Let's play some Battle Pack. If anybody has Legacy of the Duelist and wants to play some Battle Pack duels, feel free to just let me know in the chat, and I'll quite happily do online play. We will do a draft, and we will do a draft of Epic Dawn. And we'll just start with a new deck. But yeah, I think like overall, nerfing Pendulum, really good. Keeping links as they are, totally fine. And then just opening up the format to a lot of old strategies is very interesting. I think we're still in just such a high power level time of the game that like things like Gillosaurus, there's so much redundancy in cards. Not enough Necros. I mean, Necros gets a buff from this, right? Like, generally, does Necros get a buff? I don't know. If it got, it just needs Unicorn back to tree. If it has Unicorn back to tree, I think Necros is like totally fine where it is. First pick, I really don't know with this format. I feel like enemy controller is just super decent. So we're gonna first pick an enemy controller. Do we just try and build a control deck? Sure. Although Chalice is very good. Yeah, we're just gonna pick up good spells first. It's probably easy enough to pick up good monsters. Ooh, we could try and do the skill drain deck. Or we could try and go on machines. Oh, whoops. We double clicked. But it's okay because we gotta worry. We will take Phoenix Chain. Don't know why I didn't take Phoenix Chain on the first. We'll take Choo Choo. We'll take that. Book Moon's not bad. Torrential's not bad. Side blocker ain't bad. Geroid. Reckless Greed is fine. Tribute is fine. This guy's fine. That's fine. But yeah. Imagine using... Oh, totally is, like, bonkers. Yeah, I think Necroz is pretty fine to just be where it is. Like, I think you could unlimit all of the Necroz cards, and just because hand traps actually exist in this format, it's like a lot less scary. Actually being able to interact with like Brio searches and having things like impermanence for Valk if he's on the field. You know, like if Necroz is really good, you can play triple Veiler and triple Imperm. So I think it's probably been creeped out enough. I mean, Needle Fiber makes loads of decks stronger, Devin. But it's going to make certain decks just so much stronger than the rest of the decks. So that would be my fear, is that, like, yeah, it does, like, you know, I can play my Buster Blighter deck with Needle Fiber, but that's not going to be as good as an Orcus deck playing Needle Fiber. So it could just be a case that it makes certain decks so much more powerful that it can't stay while keeping a kind of diverse format. I think Change of Heart is fine. Seems decent. Caius is a good card. Nothing like a good old Caius for time. And we will take Dust Tornado. We're just playing a game. I don't know what game it is, but yes. Super Poly is a weird card. I really don't like it much. Like, I was on the Super Poly is the best card in the game train for London, which is why I was on Guru. But the problem is, like, Super Poly rarely progresses your game, and like there are very few decks where you actually end the game by Super Polying. You know, you Super Poly an Orcus board, they probably still have live interaction. So I think Super Poly, I don't like the card, but I don't think it's in too bad of a space right now. With regards to Zulkin, I mean, at the moment, like, the best Zulkin deck seems like it should be Orcus, right? Because if you have some easy way to make Zulkin, you gotta go Zulkin, make Galatea, set Babel off Galatea, and then during the opponent's turn set Crescendo, get a second Zulkin trigger. But like Toad does the same, and Paleo becomes a lot more playable when you can actually make stuff. Being able to make two Toads instead of making like Starboy Toad is pretty big. Toss on Red Eyes Dragoon. Yeah, I mean, Red Eyes just has like a lot of stuff. I feel like I never know what all of the Red Eyes cards do. But I think like there's just so many decks that benefit from being able to... I think we have too many tributes. There's so many decks which benefit from the Master Rule change. I would be very surprised if Red Eyes was like a tier 1 deck, but I could see it being like a totally good kind of tier 2 rogue, catch your opponent off guard sort of deal. I have time for those decks. Tyros seems good. Do I have 5s? I have Cyber Dragon. I have 1-5 at the moment. But we could take Tyros and hope Zabor comes back to us. Mobius is of course 6. It's nothing cute we can do with interdimensional at the moment. We'll take it anyway because it's the most exciting card of the lot. Battle Fader, good card. Werewolf, good card. Is Mad Dog better than just cards that actually do something? Hyper Hammerhead is a win the board back card. Drillroid is... Well, we already have a Drillroid, so I'm less inclined to take it. But it is a machine, so if we just hope that we see more fortresses... Yeah, we'll take the Drillroid. It's a good card. Yeah, I mean, Super Poly definitely is about breaking your opponent's board, but when you're burning 2 resources to break the opponent's board, it's a lot less appealing. Like, you need to be able to do a lot with the 4 resources that you have left after the Super Poly, or your discard needs to benefit from being sent. That said, I've just not been massively keen on Super Poly or evenly matched as of late, because that's not what I'm kind of... I don't feel like they're positioned very well at the moment. Like, evenly obviously is suffering from the fact that Orcus sets a counter trap, Striker is playing Judgments, and oh wow, we have lots of Change of Hearts. So we have Heavy Storms as well. That's kind of bonkers. Because this is an AI draft, we'll probably get a Heavy Storm back. Do we want an Ancient Gargolem as our top end? Probably. Might as well take Enemy Controller, and then we have kind of 4 Heavy Storms. Or 4 Change of Hearts. Is Blowback Dragon good? That seems fine, I guess. Let's just take the Witch. Let's take another Witch. Actually, we should be on as many tribute monsters as we can. I am a fool. Okay, we have a deck. Yeah, double heavy pack, crazy. Do I think we'll get Max C back now? I really don't think so. Like, I don't have much issue if we had Max C at 3. But I think, like, the only world I see us getting Max C back is if the lists are unified in the April update. And again, I think that is something that hypothetically could happen. Like, it reduces a lot of work if you just unify the 2 games together. And it just creates more consistency, especially if you're trying to make YCSs consistent across regions. But yeah, no, I'd be very surprised if we got Max C back. I mean, we have Phantasme for Lynx, and then we have Ghost Sister technically for normal special summons. So yeah, I'd be pleasantly surprised by Max C. I think it's an interesting card. I think it hits, like, it punishes a lot of the decks that I'm not super keen on. Yes, I mean, if we are discarding Dangers off our Super Poly every time and then going into Curious, Super Poly is probably the best card ever printed. But not something that I would expect to happen most of the time. Have we discussed Master Rule already? So we've not kind of sat down and discussed the Master Rule formally, I guess. But we're just kind of discussing points as people bring them up. We played the Cube yesterday in Bristol with the new Master Rule. It didn't make too much of a difference. I was playing Pendulum, so it didn't actually make any difference to me. But I think when it comes to actually constructed deck building, it's going to be a lot bigger. Well, yeah, Flamboyant, you are correct that a unified list wouldn't make any sense with different product cycles. But my point would be more that hypothetically you could move the product cycles together and then unify the list. I think I only am allowed to drop like 5 cards from this, and I have to play the rest. So like, drop this, I guess. Or is it 35? No. Okay, it's 30 cards. Cool. Okay, well, we will take those. Then we're allowed to be more top heavy than normal because we have double change of heart here. We kind of want to have sticky stuff, so we want a gyroid. Probably doesn't make the cut, and we probably don't need one of these either. And that should be fine. I think we're fine to take this. 31 cards, perfect. Yeah, so if the products were just aligned, then unified list is totally fine, and it just makes everybody's lives a lot easier. I guess the difficulty in that is that the markets are all quite different from kind of like a sales perspective, where like the culture of Yu-Gi-Oh! In Japan is so different to the culture in Europe or America. So I would be surprised if they did, but at the same time, the fact that the rule update goes into force in April is very weird. You know, we haven't seen that before. We didn't see that with Synchro. We didn't see that with any other. So I don't know. So Master Rule is, I'm pretty sure, just the name of the kind of rules version. So, like, you could argue that it's perhaps not a Master Rule update, but this is just like a massive change to how the rules of the game work. So I think it's safe to, like, just for ease of referring to it, we would refer to it as the Master Rule. And yeah, the field hasn't changed, but I believe with Synchro, that was like Master Rule 2, because Synchro obviously switched Fusion Deck to Extra Deck. So, you know, there have been kind of large rule changes that haven't introduced a new mechanic. And I think a lot of people are of the opinion that we really don't need a new mechanic. I would tend to agree with that. I don't think it's too important to have right now. Our opponent had Pot of Greed, which is a pretty good start. He has an Insect Knight and a set. I think we just go Summon Cyber Valley. Let him go. He shouldn't be able to kill us, and then we have like a massive swing turn where we can like heavy. Yeah. Yes, I think I will negate the attack and draw a card. Okay. Yeah. So I don't think don't think necessarily that they will unify the lists, but I would like if they did. There's definitely been weird kind of inconsistencies between the two game modes, because we've been doing one thing and Japan's been doing another thing. And like there was the US differences. There's been a lot of differences between the OCG and TCG in terms of how the game works. So bringing that together could be good. But yeah, like I was discussing this with the Bristol guys, and we kind of just said, just referring to the update as Master Rule 5 is the easiest, just because it means we all know what we're talking about at the same time. If you guys have any decks that you would like to see us talk about with regards to Master Rule 5, please do let us know. Because, okay, so... That's kind of sad. We will switch him to defense. It's kind of annoying because we could like econ to steal this, tributing him, so that creature swap didn't resolve. But then the Twin Barrel Dragon would just go back to his field at the end of the turn. So that sucks. No. 1600 defense, cool. But yeah, if there's Master Rule 5 decks that you would like to see us look at in the coming weeks, do let us know, because I think a lot of my focus anyway is going to shift over to the new Master Rule, because I don't get much chance to play during the Nationals season. Got a lot of events lined up. And after Nationals, we're basically into the new Master Rule. In fact, we have the new Master Rule for Euros this year, which is really weird. It's basically just Utrecht, which is going to be Master Rule 4. Burning Abyss starting with Gossip Shadows. Ugh. I really don't like it. Did we actually just get Gorsed? That's kind of sad. Do you play around Gorsed there? I guess I can compulse to Gors. Or else I can just kill it. Kill it. Set econ. Kill Gors. Bounce the token. And econ whatever he summons. Seems fine. Gors is just so big. Yeah, Millennium Eyes Restrict is a very interesting card in the coming format. He has Duster. Grumble, grumble. Well, we will bounce that. Oh no, I could have done really cute stuff. Because I could have, like, grabbed the Gors and punched through. And then just compulsed Gors, but that's not good. But it's okay, because we drew Change of Heart for game. Unless he has another Gors. So, we do get punished for not taking... we get punished for not taking... We get punished for not taking a rank 4 because we can't get rid of stuff with Change of Heart. Ruh-roh. Okay, that's not as bad as it could have been. But I do think we probably lose here. That's a little sad. Like, we could have killed the Tragodia, but then the Ape Fighter beats over us. Draw Caius. That does not get us there. I think if the ban list does not hit the current meta, Orcust is probably the best deck, or else Thunder Dragon. Okay. Yep, we are dead. Yeah, I mean, Thunder Dragon just gets to do everything. Orcust still does a lot. Like, there's maybe some sort of crazy synchro deck that just goes infinite, but Nibiru is still a card. Nibiru becomes a lot better with this list, I think. Is there any specific deck that I would like to try out in April with the rule change? I'm quite fond of the idea of playing one of the kind of go infinite, do everything, dream the biggest dream synchro decks. But at the same time, I also know I'm generally pretty bad at learning those kind of combo decks. It's one of the reasons why I've shied away from stuff like Pendulum, because I don't terribly like learning the kind of infinite routes and combos and stuff. There's a lot of old decks that I want to play, like Shaddoll is a deck that I absolutely adored playing, and Invoked is a deck which suddenly kind of has more avenues available to it. Messing about with the Zoo engine will happen. Paleo is a deck that I played a lot of and will very happily play more of. So yeah, there's a few things that I'm likely to play. Dewey de Koichi? Yeah. But yeah, there's a few directions that I'm thinking of. I still haven't really kind of fully accepted the fact that we're back to regular Yu-Gi-Oh! You can summon Krebens, that is fine. Right, Geki'd me. Geki's one monster. It's broken. Played Synchro with Triple Omega. Yeah, that's not happening again. But the thing is, Triple Omega was because we only had one Trishula. Now you have Triple Trishula. That's just so much better than Omega. You just permanently get rid of the card. Machina Fortress is a dumb card. And we have new Machina cards coming out. Like, I would be interested to see more of Fortress, despite how dumb the card is. We just got Mirror Forced. Whoa. Interesting. Eventually we'll actually stick a monster to the board. Machine Turbo ABC. Darkwolf, do you have a list for that? I'd be very happy to see it. ABC is definitely a cool deck coming into the format. Do I even want to? No, just yeah, actually. We're just gonna chalice it. Just keep the spell counter off him. We're gonna fader the attack, so the attack boost doesn't matter. And then we Hades, and we have the biggest board, and as long as that set card is not a good card, we're fine. Gus, Zodiac with Broadwell and Trident is kind of silly though. Like, I don't know if you have played it before, but like, Broadwell is just such an absurd card. Broadwell just will always break the game because one card becomes whichever Beast Warrior you need. And there's a lot of good Beast Warriors to search. But even just the fact that, like, one card becomes two cards plus a search. So you're, like, 3 cards for 1. And you might not have even used your normal summon yet. I would love if there was battle pack tournaments. Trish takes up board space. Trish does take up board space, that is true. But Trish can also be consolidated into the Enter Blotnir or True King of All Calamities. So, I mean, is taking up board space a bad thing? Taking up board space is definitely a bad thing with the current Master Rule. Creature Swap is activated, so he... Ugh. This is sad. Prem, okay. Get back Breaker, not the best Prem target. So it's a 1200 Breaker. We are definitely blocking the Hades. Power up your Hades. Yes, okay, cool. Nope, Carbons is super dead. He definitely should attack with the Hades first there. It's called the Haunted as well as Premature Burial. Yeah, Raigeki and Mirror Force is pretty good. You wished you could play it? Yeah. Zoo was like I enjoyed playing Zoo format a lot because you got to play some really cool board states where you were playing around your opponent and you have like dimension barriers and enemy controllers. My body has a shield. Bunch of cool cards that I have a fondness for. But at the same time, like, definitely not the healthiest point for anybody that was not playing Zoo. Change of Heart is super sick here. We get to take the Blue Thunder, we get to punch the Breaker, and then we get the token, and because we have Burden up, our token is bigger than the Blue Thunder when it goes back to our opponent. We will summon our option token in defense because we don't want to get blown out by something random. Then we'll go main 2, set the econ. Oh no, there was a better line there. The correct line was Change of Heart, take Des. Do we die here? No. Snatch Steal is fine. Yeah. Yes, we should have Change of Heart, take Hades. Econ, Tribute Hades, take Blue Thunder, punch. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, 2 Trish is already 3 cards. DDR Card Loop Omega. DDR Card Loop Omega was crazy. Like, the Dark Warrior Omega, like, loop your opponent's entire hand deck was very cool. I don't think it was necessarily healthy, but it was cool. Ooh, nice. That is a good top deck. Summon Limit is a good card, but Summon Limit only works when we go first. So, Jamel, if you're always winning the die roll, then by all means, Summon Limit, good card. Argo, if you have a Battle Pack 1 draft deck built, I would very happily place him. Just let me know when you're in the queue and I'll hop out of this game once it's done. Mana, I definitely could have taken the Dark Ruler. Thankfully, we're not being super punished for this, so, you know. No, we're not going to chain. Then we're going to activate this. I think we pop this. That puts him down to like 1800. We have to deal with him eventually, but we can draw like Caius or something. So yeah, let's just break the Snatch Steal. Keep him off having extra monsters to tribute something scary. Phase 2, switch that to defense. I guess we get blown out by a Monarch. But I'm not too worried about being blown out by a Monarch. Yeah, he's just passing. That is okay. Phoenix Chain, good card apparently. We summon this. And then we pass turn. And then next turn, we just need any monster to just push for game. So that is the plan. Yeah, Hand Loop Synchro definitely is one of the decks that scares me at the moment. Oh, cool. guess we'll change parties. And then we will remember that enemy controller is only on face-up monsters. That was a whoopsie. Whoops. This probably beats over. Yeah, it does. Did we miss lethal? Really bad at playing around Tragodia, apparently. Yeah, I mean, again, hand loop synchro is worse because we have more interaction in this format than in previous formats where it's been good, I think. But at the same time, like, how many hand traps are we playing to stop it? I'd like to see Pendulum hit, because I think Pendulum still just does, like, Pendulum attacks the game in a way that a lot of other decks don't. Oh no, it's this Light Warrior. And now we proactively do not mess up, because we will tribute our token, take the Hades, and actually attack for game. Cool. I will join that lobby now in a second, Argo. I mean, what's everybody in the chat excited to be playing? Online battle, find match, search. I really do need to pick up the Switch version of this. I am currently playing the Steam version. Just a case of looking into picking up a laptop that can actually handle the load of using yeah, I just need a laptop that's actually capable of handling. Yep. I think my lobby has broken. Okay, I'm going to try exiting out. Maxi was legal the last time you played Synchro, and decking out was the real plan. Yeah, decking out was very much possible with that. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to try exit, and we'll go into Battle Pack, and we'll go into Sealed Play, no, go into Draft, Online Battle, Find Match, Search. Yeah, decking out was hilarious. Pendulum and Shaddolls. Shaddolls is awesome. Like, again, Construct's really cool. It's so much worse that we don't have snow. The game was found. It's possible that there's an issue with the servers. Or it's possible that just my computer is broken. Could be anything. Nope, no game was found. I don't know. Sad times. Burning Abyss and Zephyr are cool. Does Zephyr, like... Is it playable at the moment? Like... Or are we just talking about kind of the Endy Pendy, but with the Zephyr engine in it? In which case, yeah, I totally get it. It's just a pity that Zephyr never kind of stood on its own as a deck. But it's definitely been a very cool splash. Although, no, there was a Zephyr deck that did well at Euros the year that... Euros the year that it was like Paleo, Draco, Zoo. Maybe the request does work. We will check after this game. Do we just OTK somebody? This is my pro let's get blown out by Duster strat. Yeah, Valor Ogre and Maxi are all good cards, but I don't think they hit the... Nice. Our opponent has given us... Ooh, actually it's kind of gross. Yes. You're targeting my Book of Moon. Book of Moon. Oh, that's fine. Ooh, okay. That's fine. I don't need my life points. Argo, I will try and start the game after this one. Needle Fiber. Yeah, Needle Fiber should be good for a lot of decks. Do I like Dr. Pepper? I do not actually drink much soft drinks, so I don't think I've ever actually drunk Dr. Pepper, but I'm sure he's a lovely guy. Again, the problem is, like, you know, decks can become good with Needle Fiber, but we just pass because we have Battle Fader backup. Yeah, decks can become good with Needle Fiber, but that doesn't mean that they're good Needle Fiber decks. No, that's fine. But yeah, I think, like, Needle Fiber is massive and fundamentally changes the game, and then the new Master Rule change also is massive and fundamentally changes the game. So, like, it's kind of hard to even fathom what the format will be in April because it's such a massive difference from what we currently have. Okay, we did not draw any pressure. Are we on just Change of Heart over 2 turns? Kill him? I think so. So we set the Book of Moon as well. We get very sad if our opponent has a Heavy Storm, but otherwise we're fine. You are correct, Mana. Spirit monsters are the ultimate counter to my Change of Heart Turbo. I could not have planned around this. Oh no, he's hitting my Magic Drain. This is my only protection from... Oh, yeah. I mean, that's fine. We don't need to compulse this. We don't need to compulse the Tricky, so I guess we just, like, Book of Moon Tricky, and then we just Change of Heart kill. That is fine. But yeah. I'm like... whoops. I'm just trolling myself really hard. I mean, what I am told is... Alvin is still on a mono mine in Draco. So he tells me that Master Rule 5 actually does not affect the game at all. And he's definitely a reliable source. So apparently the Switch version of this game is getting an update. The Switch version of this is getting an update all the way up to the current set. So that's pretty cool. Once it does do that, we're still kind of like messing about with resources and stuff. But I would love to get it to the point where we can play actual live games of proper Yu-Gi-Oh on an official platform. So keep an eye out for that. The connection to host has been lost. Argo, if you are still about, if you'd like to just shoot over a challenge now, I should be able to accept it, and it seemed to be looking to happen this time. Amano Mine is the best combo ever printed. Who needs Exodia or like... Although, actually, some people do tell me that Amano Mine is not a true combo and is in fact a false prophet, because the true best 2-card combo is Amano Raigeki. But you didn't hear that from me. Tsukiyomi counters Amano Mine. Yeah, I mean, it does. Your opponent still has a Amano... Well, no, actually, it beats over Amano Mine, so... Shh, don't tell anybody. We've solved the format. We can all just play our Tsukiyomis. Beat those fools living in 2019 with their Amano Mine. And then we can also get multiple activations out of our Millenniumized Restrict. So this is the part of the stream where, as it goes, the everything breaks. That is the classic TKB stream, from my understanding. Okay, I'm going to try host. If that doesn't work, we are just going to cry. Pretty much. Yes, Mana. Picking up ulti Tsukiyomis right now. We're getting ahead of the curve, guys. Good thing nobody has ever picked up an ulti Tsukiyomi before. Network error occurred. Maybe the multiplayer is just not functional for this. That'd be a pity. What I can do... So, what I would love to do right now, guys, is I would love to... Oh, that's a very big close-up of my face. What I would love to do is play Yu-Gi-Oh! On my Switch and share it with you guys. But... the computer I'm streaming on is not powerful enough. In recent weeks, I've been running Pokemon events, and I'm trying to kind of live stream the matches, because obviously Pokemon VGC has a new format. But yeah, this machine cannot handle the Elgato at the same time as anything else, so that's a pity. But yeah, yes, good thing that only 20 people know that we're all gonna play triple Tsukiyomi, and then we're gonna play triple Bushinte Tsukiyomi. That's the trick, you see, because that way when they name Tsukiyomi off Prohibition, you just snicker to yourself and you're like, they definitely meant Bushinte Tsukiyomi. And that's a fun way to get kicked out of a tournament, really. So, the other saddest thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist, and I really would love if they fixed this, is there is no trad on this, and the reason that's frustrating is it means we can't play Squirrel. And I can't think of anything more tragic than not being able to play Squirrel. For people who aren't familiar with Squirrel, I assume most of you are. This is a pretty quiet stream. Oh, you've not picked up Tsukiyomi. You've picked up TG Hyper Librarian and Frightfur stuff. Oh, that's completely different. Frightfur being like a deck again is really cool. I'm quite fond of that. Hyper Librarian still haunts my dreams. So, you know, take of that what you will. But yeah, Hyper Librarian, good card. The Zulkin hype is crazy. Like, Zulkin... I mean, maybe I'm missing out on something. Feel free to correct me, chat, if I'm wrong. But Zulkin never did that much. Like, it was played in the original Metal Foes builds, before Metal Foes was good, when you just had, like, the vanilla fusions and you, like, summoned Zulkin. It was played in the Dark Hero deck, which was pretty cool. But, like, you know, even if you're getting 2 activations off Zulkin, how much resources are you sinking into that card? I mean, instant fusion into Theseus. Best monster card of 2017, guys. But I just I'm not really seeing it. I guess if you have Hyper Librarian stuff going as well. But I mean, can't we just stand on multiple Quasars or just multiple Trishes? Like, if we're on the Synchro deck, there is only likely to be one Synchro deck, and it's probably going to be the Trishula Turbo. But again, I don't, like, conceptually see these decks in my mind's eye as of yet. So... you know, we'll need to think about it a bit more. James is after stealing all of my Matt Mech cards. So whenever he gets back from Cork, we'll probably have some sort of Matt Mech profile. But it's even kind of questionable because, you know, we like to make content that has value to it. And with everybody knowing April is when the game just fundamentally changes, it's less incentivizing to make deck profiles at the moment. Yes, there was a Monarch deck that played Quick Draw and Zulkin, and Quick Draw is a real cool card. I have a set of ulti tunings that just sit waiting to be played, and I would love to play them to search Quick Draw Synchron. Toad Heroes is also cool. I mean, Behemoth Shark has obviously been getting a lot of hype. Bahamut Shark even. Yeah, I mean, again, there's just like so many cool cards that we just like haven't seen in ages, and suddenly everything's playable, and that's a really exciting part to be with the game. Okay, we are going to pass up on this for now, and what game is good? So we were like testing out a video, and something that we are going to be doing at some point is we have Jackbox, and we have set it up with Yu-Gi-Oh related questions. So we will have a Jackbox TKB Quiplash episode at some point in the future, probably coming up to the April list. Because, you know, that's what everybody wants to see. In the meantime, something that's like we don't talk about very much is there is a lot of non-Yu-Gi-Oh gaming on the team. I talk a lot about card games. Like I play Magic, I play Hearthstone. But today, I felt like playing Age of Empires. I don't know if this is actually going to show up okay. But yeah, let's just play a random campaign of Age of Empires. See how it goes. Oh, no. I don't want to go to the Steam store. For people who haven't played Age of Empires, very classic real-time strategy game. Pretty cool. I'm a big fan. Let me know if any of you guys have played, or if there's any kind of similar games you're excited for. I'm pretty sure StarCraft has like a new version coming out or something, which is pretty cool. I've never actually played it. But yeah, this is just something to have on in the background while we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh cards. 2 Ghost Trick XYZ Monsters is pretty cool. It is a pretty random stream. And the reason for it being a pretty random stream is just everybody else was quite busy. So we are just going to play video games and hang out and talk about Master Rule 5. Yeah. I mean, when you think Yu-Gi-Oh, you definitely think of the Mongols, right? What I will do is, I think for the next time I'm doing a stream like this, I'm going to grab the Squirrel lists, and what we will do is we will just play some Squirrel games on Dueling Book. Age of Mythology is pretty cool. I feel like it has less of a following than Age of Empires does. Like, Age of Empires is just a game that is strictly like, it just has a massive competitive community about it. So I have sheep. It is very tempting to just kill sheep, but the sheep are actually we don't want to talk to those wolves. The sheep are actually part of one of the quests, so we are going to leave them for now. I hope that the wolves don't for some reason decide to kill them. And we are going to go unite the Mongol tribes. Just a regular Monday night. But yeah, so I mean, I'm very interested to see what direction we're going to go with the new rule change. And again, it's just so confusing that we're seeing a rule change in the middle of a product cycle for us. Like, we are going to have that change before Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 has kind of like a proper official English kind of reveal, I would assume. So that's pretty bizarre. It's kind of new territory for us. Now, an interesting question that I have for people is, there is the Card Market series has started back up again, and there is going to be an event in Paris at the start of this year. Now, I know Tom has said that he is planning on going over for it. I'm considering going over for it. What do people think? Is anybody else here considering going? And yes, Mana, the highest of APM gameplay coming. Talking about Master Rule 5 in a dueling stream, but actually playing Age of Empires. Well, you see, Age of Empires is increasing my APM so that I can figure out how to do all of my synchro combos before I go to time. You see? That's the big brain play. I feel like ABC is just kind of a cool deck. I have no idea what I'm doing in this match. This was a terrible idea. But yeah, we will be back to normal. I don't know if we'll be back to normal stream next week. It might be another stream with just me. What we can do, and what we realistically should do, is just, if there is anybody interested in the chat, we can just throw together Squirrel decks on Dueling Book and play some Squirrel. Because that is actually Yu-Gi-Oh! Related. And it also fixes an issue, because one of the questions we had with Squirrel is, like, should we play it with current, like with Master Rule 4, or with old rules? Whereas now you can just summon your Chimera attack to the middle like a sane person, and it's fine. Yeah. But yeah, Age of Empires, great game. I am no good at it. I have no ability or time sunk into the game. But a lot of fun. Very nostalgic game. Joe, Squirrel is a format that Tom and the Bristol guys kind of designed over a couple of years. It is called Squirrel because what Squirrel is in the format. It used to be called Denko, but basically, when we were kind of deciding that we were going to show it to people, we realized that Denko format is confusing, especially when the format doesn't contain Denko. So Squirrel format was chosen name, and basically Squirrel format is you take goat as a basis, and then you take out most of the broken cards and replace them with slightly more reasonable cards. So we should be able to play Squirrel on Dueling Book if we believe. No, we should be able to play Squirrel on Dueling Book if we play it as a trad game. Yep. I do not sign into this very often. Yeah, so basically Squirrel is just a kind of slow, control-y sort of format. And I think I posted a video which contained the Squirrel list, but I can't find it. So if anybody does have a link to the Squirrel list, that would be very handy. Okay, I found a list. It was posted to Patreon, so I will grab that and I will chuck it into the chat. Yeah, so the cards that are removed are things like Pot of Greed and Delinquent Duo. I think Graceful Charity is removed as well. Wait, no, is Pot of Greed removed? Delinquent Duo is definitely removed. Thousand Eyes Restrict is removed because the card is bonkers. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to get this list into the chat so that we can look over it, and then I'll build it on here, and then we can play some Yu-Gi-Mons. Yeah, we played a couple of games of Squirrel on the stream this weekend. I think they were the ones that we were streaming over on Twitch. We're kind of messing about between Twitch and YouTube at the moment, because I think more people will go to Twitch for stuff than will go to YouTube for stuff when it comes to live. Okay, I should have a link now. That should be the Squirrel list there. But yeah, so like it takes a lot of the kind of fun cards from Goat. You still have a lot of flip effect monsters, you still have Tribe Infecting Virus, Tsukiyomi, Heavy Storm, Mirror Force, and then you just add extra ones. You have things like What Squirrel, Fencing Fire Ferret, which aren't in normal Goat. Let's see if I can figure out how to okay, we know how technology works. And now let's actually have us visible as well. Okay, so this is a striker deck list. This is not the type of deck we want to play right now. And the great thing is, once we make this on this stream, we will always have Squirrel available. There is a TKB Discord server. It is available through the Patreon if you donate $1 a month, which just goes towards us getting equipment. We had the new stream set up from this weekend. Should start posting streams on Zoo, as in like live streams onto Facebook or just into Zoo itself, because we generally try to share them into Zoo. For a stream like this, where it's just kind of a quiet stream, I'm not going to share it out, just because, you know, I don't think we're saying much of grand importance. But like, we shared the Cube stream from the weekend, and just as we like produce more content, YouTube will favor us and we'll get more people watching as such. Breaker. I really hope that we get kind of an official platform for competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! At some point. Like, imagine how cool it would be if we had official events that could be played online. Yeah, so part of the issue, Joe, with us posting in Facebook is that Facebook will suppress posts that link off-site. So, like, I posted that I am live at the moment, but like, it won't actually make that visible to a lot of people, or it will make it visible over a period of time. You kind of need stuff like the YouTube notifications. We should probably use Twitter more, just because Twitter is more instantaneous. But you need those things which just get viewers in immediately. The other important thing is just getting us kind of consistent, so that you guys know, hey, look, 7 o'clock UK time, there's going to be a stream. I am taking forever to actually build this deck list. But yeah, so we're streaming every Monday. I would like to get it up to having a stream from somebody on the team at least 3 nights a week, possibly more. So if you guys are interested in streams and have ideas for what you would like to see from live streams, let us know, because we are always open to ideas. And it is just a case of, like, we enjoy the game. We love to share what we enjoy about the game with the rest of the community. So, you know, if you want to see BA mirrors, it's something we can probably do, if those are actually fun. I'm not sure if a BA mirror is fun. BA mirror with mind control being a card is probably not fun. But, you know, we have a lot of things that we're pretty interested in. Sealed is something that we really love. Sealed draft. There's so many What cards. And What Squirrel is just bonkers. Like, if you have never read What Squirrel before, this card can attack twice during the battle phase. Okay, yeah, that's like stuff that some things do. But then it just permanently negates, including in graveyard, the effects of stuff it kills. Like, it's just so good in this. Can we see Fortnite or Rocket League? I do not play Fortnite or Rocket League. League of Legends, I can probably play. Used to play that somewhat competitively. But yeah, Rocket League I'm like interested in, but just haven't put any time into it. And Fortnite I don't play first person shooters. But I will ask if anybody on the team wants to stream those while talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Reviewing archetypes in depth. In depth? I'm just like slipping up. Just give me one moment. I'm just gonna grab a glass of the finest Irish tap water. There you go. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I mean, archetypes in depth, definitely something I'd be interested in doing. But, you know, what are you wanting? Are you wanting to see us kind of going, like, these are each of the cards, these are why these cards are good? Or is it more like where the archetype sits in that format? A big problem with just Yu-Gi-Oh! Content as a whole is that a lot of the content is very short-lived. So, like, you know, deck profiles people don't really revisit. If you look at how this channel does as a whole, you know, it will get spikes of viewers when we have a successful event. And thankfully, we've had a few of those. But if you don't have that sort of content coming out, it can be pretty hard to kind of grow momentum as a channel. Uganda Knuckles, yeah. I'm like happy to see Shaddoll in a much better place. Super Poly is also really nice for the deck. I am afraid that the Shaddoll cards have potentially just been made irrelevant just due to the fact that they are very slow cards inherently. Like we've seen Shaddoll Fusion seeing play, but it has only seen play in decks that are only playing 2 Shaddoll monsters. So that's kind of an issue. You guys could make a Broken Pendulum 10 negates. I keep asking Alec. Alec is our resident penned head, and he just hasn't gotten to 10 negates yet, but he's working on it. So coming soon, we'll get Alec to do a proper penned deck profile. Joe, we have started updating the cube for Master Rule 5. The current cube list that is up is played with Master Rule 5. We will just be playing cube Master Rule 5 from here on out, because we think that it's more interesting, and it is also good to really kind of push ourselves into the mindset of the format that we're going to be playing. You know, it gives you an edge on the competition. Gives you an edge on the competition if you are in that mindset ahead of time, which is going to be relevant for like nationals that are after April, and also for Euros, obviously, but particularly for those nationals early into the format, it's going to be a really big shakeup. Like this change is bigger than time rules, because time rules only affect a certain amount of your matches, especially like that nationals season where time rules were introduced, like you were either playing striker and you were beating every deck that was not striker, or you had figured out that striker actually wasn't the best deck and Trickstar Striker was the best deck, and then not only were you beating all the decks that weren't striker, but you were also beating striker, and you were doing so without going to time very often. So yeah, I think this is like massive. Burst Rebirth is a great card, mana. It's really cool in this format. I mean, approaching decks from a competitive angle is definitely something we can. It's a case of like we never really. Fortress Dragon. Like we always want to create content that is useful for people. And as such, okay, Squirrel is now my default deck. We are going to go into traditional unrated single, and we will put watching up dual note Squirrel. Better. One Squirrel. I can totally spell. Is Moo, and we're hosting. So whoever wants to challenge us first can be the first live Squirrel duel online. But yeah, so I mean, it's a case of when we have the insight into decks, I think definitely doing a kind of like thorough analysis of them is quite nice. But we don't want to put out content that isn't valuable to people, and we don't want to kind of lead people astray. You're up to 39 cards. I think I'm just going to cancel the duel here. I think I can just export the deck, right? I will export the deck with a download link, chuck it in the chat. That way anybody can build the deck. Yeah. Completely forgot I was on a German keyboard. 1 second. Okay, we should have a Squirrel list in the thing. Let's just update this so people know that we are just playing. Yeah, a series of videos that I will be making soon is the Link Strike mirrors are indeed fantastic. I'm also always happy to play Link Strike mirrors. Yeah, content that I do want to make is just a kind of like a general introduction how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! From like very basic all the way up to competitive. I was holding off on doing it because there was a new rule change coming out, but now that we know the new rule change, it's definitely something that I can kind of push forward with. I like Highlander. Yes, I do. So one of the things that is nice about Highlander is just the fact that it increases card variety. It also generally lowers the power level of decks, and so it means that you get put into a more a slower game, and it's a more like classic Yu-Gi-Oh. So it gives you a very different experience to competitive Yu-Gi-Oh. Because if I want to play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm gonna go to a regional or OICS. Whereas if I just want to play Yu-Gi-Oh for fun, there's other ways to enjoy it. And Highlander is definitely one of them. We have a challenger. Okay. Rats. Okay. So the general thing with Squirrel format is you pretty much always want to go second. So the reason for this is because there's no pressure in the game. You are going to be playing back and forth, and the draw is quite valuable. That's another thing with Squirrel. You don't draw going first, which is pretty big. Makes a big difference. Okay. So we have a few options here. It's important to note that one of the cool things with a format like this is every single card in your opponent's deck, so you know what you need to play around. So I see this set monster. It could be a Magician of Fate or a Mask of Darkness. Those are pretty unlikely. So that means at this point of the game, it's most likely a Witch of the Black Forest or a Sandcan. So we're not going to be shield crushing here. What we're probably going to do is we are going to set this. We're going to normal summon Doom Kali, and we are going to either trade for a back row or clear the defense. That is the Koichi. That will be negated by my mandatory effect. Yeah, so Doom Caliber was mandatory. We knew that we were sending him in to die there, but that's totally fine. Also, don't be like me. I think on the stream day that we were playing Squirrel, I threw a game to Tom where I had Ferret and Doom Caliber Knight. I attacked with my Ferret to blow up his Snowplow Russell Hustle. And then my Doom Caliber negated my Ferret and I lost. So yeah, that's a pro tip. But yeah, a really fun thing with this sort of Highlander format is you can just memorize all of the cards in the format because it is a limited pool and you can know what you're playing around. So like I'm fine to throw this Ferret onto the board. If it's destroyed by something like a Mirror Force, we get value. Yep. If you have not seen the cards before, you may need to read them. Fencing Fire Ferret is a cute one. It appears in Battle Pack 3, which is a set that I have drafted a lot. Link Strike Mirrors is actually a really interesting format for anybody that's not played it. Oh, okay. Thought Dueling Book was giving up on me for a second there. But yeah. What I need to do is I need to convince Tom to get a computer that can actually run Dueling Book, because I'm pretty sure he would love to play live Squirrel games with people. Like, again, if you're ever at a competitive event and you see Tom there, Tom always has a set of these decks with him. And I think he's finishing off his second set, so he'll have like 4 decks with him. So, it's a fun thing to do between rounds. It's a pretty skillful format. The nice difference with it versus GOAT is the fact that there's less blowouts. You have to get pretty far into the game before big blowouts happen. So setting 3 is pretty questionable. You do need to be careful because, like, if I draw Heavy Storm here, I just end the game effectively because I just have so much card advantage. Yeah. So the Mirror Force was expected. We will let the ferret die. And we're in a fine position. Main phase 2, we are going to set this. We're going to pass turn over. I think my favorite part of the game. So the name for Squirrel format came from the fact that, yeah. The name Squirrel came from the fact that the format has what Squirrel in it. I think the Koichi draw is fine. Because we could respond to it. But yeah, I think that's okay. I don't mind too much. Yeah, so what Squirrel is in the format? The format had previously been known as Denko, because it started being developed around the time of new challenges. But again, we just decided Squirrel is something that's memorable. So that's what we went with. What Squirrel is a great card. If there was anybody else in the room with me right now, I would say what Squirrel, and they would say which Squirrel, and then you say where Squirrel. It's a very important part of the format. Oh, we have a tribute summon coming down. Yep, that's the one I was expecting. Yeah. So tempo is nice in this, but it's not kind of back-breaking. Like, you know, I'm not threatening lethal here. I don't even have types engrave for, like, BLS or something. Oh, whoops. Oops. So we are going to flip some of this. We are going to go punchy punchy. And then we are going to go main phase 2. So this set is proactive. It could be like an MST. I would assume it's a... How to unlock draft in Legacy of the Duelist. To unlock draft in Legacy of the Duelist, you just have to play a couple of games. I think it's 10 games for the first one, then 20 for the second, and 30 for the third. Something along those lines. Why Squirrels? Because yes, exactly. MST, do I want to chain? No. That's okay. Judge, my opponent has 2 cards in his Squirrel extra deck. I'm spooked. Ooh, Zephyros. Yeah, so Zephyros is a card that I'm always banishing here. Nice. That's pretty good. Yep, Divine Wrath makes me a little sad. Cute thing is we have Grand Mole, so we can bounce him. We could go Tsukiyomi, Shield Crush. Not really feeling that. We have that to close out the game if we want. Night Assailant discard is nice. Lets him pick up the Koichi again. But yeah, Link Strike format is actually pretty close to this. You have a lot of similar spell and trap cards in it, which is pretty cool. I think it's very underrated, to be honest. Kind of like just grand moling here. We have loads of life points to play around with. Yeah. Then we pass turn. Yeah, so the cool thing with this format is you do get to kind of play the longer games and just get to really kind of grind out advantage. Oh no. Our best top deck here is like our best top deck would have been like Witcher Sangan, where we can just like take the Zephyros with creature swap. Another cute thing that we can do is if we can Watt Squirrel to make contact with Zephyros, then Zephyros will be negated in the graveyard, so it won't be able to summon itself. And that's a pretty fun interaction. There's a lot of kind of cute interactions that you'll learn as you play more of this format. Like, Creature Swap has a lot of cards where you can just, like, properly get good value from them. Burst Rebirth has a bunch of good targets. Fencing Fire Ferret. Golly. Huh, guess that's an interesting concept. Okay, so we have a lot of cards in our hand now. Powerful. Okay, ooh, that's pretty nice. What do we want to do here? I'm not crazy about creature swap here. We don't achieve much with it. We could card trooper, beat over, draw a card, take 500. Or I guess we like can go tribe, discard, discard mole, kill Zephyros, creature swap, punch over tribe. Yeah, I think I like that. Yeah, so Gus, rush dueling seems like a great concept. Power Frame is a really cool card. It's one of those cards where I keep reading it and then I forget what it does immediately after reading the card. Ruh-roh. Hum. Yeah. This ain't looking good, guys. Thanks for joining us, Gus. Have a good evening, or morning, or afternoon, wherever you are. Hey, Don. Hope you're doing well. Oh. My game is getting slow. Mobius. Yep. That is fine. That is not game on board, but Zephyros. Yeah. That is a good game. Well played. Yeah. I think maybe I just like shouldn't have tried to push too much. Dark Hole, good card. Dark Hole, your ferret. That would be pretty bonkers. I would have been sad. But yeah, I mean, like, Squirrel is just a format we like. People are like very free to just kind of go about and build their own. Yeah. You've just woken up from a nap. I was in work all day. Very sad. But yeah, thank you for joining us. So I'm really sad because there's no locals tomorrow evening, which means, I mean, it is Christmas Eve, but at the same time, Christmas Eve locals would be nice. Very chill. I think we're gonna probably wrap up the stream there. We've been going for like 2 hours almost as a one-man show. I do appreciate you all for hanging around for so long. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed Squirrel Caesar. It is just like pretty cool that it's pretty cool that it just takes out a lot of the like no fun parts of Goat. Like, Goat is interesting to me, but at the same time, you know, you play those Goat games and your opponent goes like, turn 1 Delinquent Duo, takes your 2 best cards, and you're like, huh, I'm never winning this game. Or like, Duo into Upstart into Graceful, and you're just like, yeah. So, a lot of that is removed. Like, even that game there were instances where like, if I had a Snowplow Hustle Rustle, I could have done more, or if I had a few more spells or traps. I probably should have been bluffing harder. There's a lot of Jedi mind tricks that go into Squirrel. But yeah, thank you all very much for joining us. We will have content coming up over the next few days. I have a bunch of stuff that I still need to upload. We have a lot of Waterford Regional missing. We have more of the Johnny Lee interview, which I really like. And then we also have Simo and Tom playing 20 questions, which I need to get around to putting up. So there's a lot of stuff coming. I hope you all have a lovely Christmas. From myself and the Kuribrohs, we really appreciate all the support that we've gotten this year from everybody watching. So thank you all very much. We will be back next Tuesday at the latest, next Monday at the latest with another TKB Live. And until then, have fun and good luck dueling.